Welcome to Learning English from People.
Vincent van Gogh, the sad man who painted stars. In his lifetime, he sold only one painting. People often called him a failure. But after his death, the world finally saw how great he was. His paintings became some of the most famous ever created. This is the story of Vincent van Gogh, an artist who painted his feelings with powerful, bright colors. Vincent van Gogh was born in a small village in the Netherlands in 1853. His birth was marked by a quiet sadness. Exactly 1 year before, his parents had a son who died. That baby was also named Vincent. Growing up, Vincent often felt like he was a replacement for his lost brother. This sad feeling stayed with him during his childhood. His father was a church minister, a serious and strict man. His mother was a gentle woman who loved nature and art. Vincent was a quiet and thoughtful boy. He loved walking in the fields and watching the world around him. But he had a hard time in school. He felt lonely and did not fit in with the other children. He later said his childhood was cold and empty. He had a younger brother named Theo. They were born 4 years apart. Theo became Vincent's closest friend, his biggest supporter, and his only real friend for many years. Their letters to each other show us what Vincent was thinking and feeling. When Vincent was 16, he started working. His family helped him get a job with a company that sold art. For a few years, it seemed he had found his place. He worked in London and was successful. He earned a good salary and enjoyed life in the big city. But this happy time did not last. He fell deeply in love with a young woman, but she was already engaged to someone else. When she said no to him, it hurt him badly. He became quieter, more religious, and spent more time alone. He began to dislike the business of art, seeing it as just a way to make money. He lost interest in his job, and in 1876, the company fired him. For the next few years, Vincent searched for a new purpose in life. He felt a fire inside him, but he didn't know what to do. He tried being a teacher in England. He worked in a bookstore. He wanted to become a minister like his father, but he failed the university entrance exams. His feelings were strong, but he could not follow the rules of school. Vincent did not give up on his wish to help people. He took a job as a missionary, a religious person who helps the poor in a coal mining area in Belgium. He was deeply moved by the hard lives of the miners. He wanted to share their suffering. He gave away his money, his warm clothes, and even his bed. He slept on the floor and cared for the sick. But the church leaders thought he was too extreme. They said his behavior was not right for a priest. They fired him. This was another terrible failure for Vincent. He felt lost and broken. He had failed in business and now in religion. During this dark time, he started to draw the faces of the miners and their families. It was then that his brother Theo gave him an idea that would change history. He saw the power in Vincent's drawings. He wrote to his brother and told him, "You should become an artist." In 1880, at the age of 27, Vincent van Gogh decided to give his whole life to art. Becoming an artist was not easy. Vincent had to teach himself everything. He moved to Brussels to study, then went back to live with his parents. He practiced drawing every single day. He drew the local farmers and workers, showing their hard lives in his drawings. His personal life was still full of pain. He fell in love with his cousin, but she said no to him. This led to a terrible fight with his father. Vincent left his family home and moved to The Hague, a large city in the Netherlands. There, a professional painter taught him how to use oil paints. In The Hague, Vincent made a choice that many people did not agree with. He met a poor, pregnant woman named Sien. She was an alcoholic and worked as a prostitute, a woman who is paid for sex. Vincent saw that she was sad and lost, just like him. He invited her and her daughter to live with him. He wanted to create a family and care for them. He drew many pictures of Sien, showing her sadness and her deep feelings. But the relationship was difficult, and his family did not like it. After a year, he left, feeling more alone than ever. From 1883 to 1885, Vincent lived with his parents again in a town called Noonan. During this time, he worked very hard. He focused completely on his art. He painted the local people, especially the weavers and farmers. His paintings from this time are dark, using colors like brown, gray, and dark green. He wanted his art to show what life was really like for poor farmers. He wanted to paint the smell of the earth and the feel of hard work. His first great painting was made here. It is called The Potato Eaters. It shows a poor family sitting around a table, sharing a simple meal of potatoes. The light is weak, and their faces look tired. Vincent was very proud of this work. He felt it honestly showed their difficult life. He sent it to Theo in Paris. But the art world in Paris was not ready for such an honest and dark painting. At that time, artists in Paris were using bright, happy colors. In 1886, Vincent moved to Paris to live with Theo. The city was a shock. It was the center of the art world. For the first time, Vincent saw the work of the Impressionists. These artists used bright colors and quick brush marks to show light and movement. He met other artists like Toulouse-Lautrec and Paul Signac. This experience changed his art completely. The dark, heavy colors of Holland disappeared. Suddenly, his paintings were filled with light and bright, strong color. He began to try new things with short, fast brush marks. He painted flowers, city streets, and many self-portraits, which are paintings of himself. He also discovered Japanese art prints. He loved their strong lines and simple colors. Their style had a big effect on his work. Paris was exciting, but also very tiring. The city was noisy and expensive. Living with Theo in a small apartment was difficult for both brothers. Vincent dreamed of a quieter place. He wanted to find a place with bright sun, like in the Japanese prints he loved. In 1888, he got on a train and traveled to the south of France to a town called Arles. For Vincent, Arles was like paradise, a perfect place. The light was very bright, and the colors were very strong. This was the time he created the most paintings in his life. In just over a year, he made around 200 paintings. Yellow became his favorite color. He painted sunny wheat fields, fruit trees in flower, and the local people. He worked with amazing speed and energy. In Arles, Vincent had a big dream. He wanted to create a studio of the South. This would be a place where a group of artists could live and work together. He rented a small building and painted it yellow. It became famous as the Yellow House. He started painting pictures for the house for his first guest, the artist Paul Gauguin. He painted his famous Sunflowers series, a group of paintings all about sunflowers, full of very bright yellow light. Gauguin arrived in October 1888. Vincent really liked and respected him. He wanted to be his friend very much. At first, they painted together and had long talks about art, but they were very different people. Gauguin was proud and liked to think about ideas. He believed artists should paint things from their mind. Vincent was full of strong feelings. He needed to paint the world he saw around him. The two men began to argue, often in a very angry way. The feeling in the small yellow house became very uncomfortable. Vincent was very scared that Gauguin would leave and his dream would be destroyed. On December 23, 1888, their friendship ended in a terrible way. After a terrible argument, Gauguin said he was leaving. Later that night, Vincent was extremely upset. He went to his room, took a razor, and cut off a part of his left ear. He wrapped the piece of ear in paper and gave it to a woman at a local brothel, a house where prostitutes work. Then he went back to his room and fell down, very weak. The police found him the next morning. His brother Theo rushed from Paris to be with him. Gauguin left Arles and never saw Vincent again. The dream of the Studio of the South was over. This event was a moment that changed everything. Vincent's body got better, but his mind was still very sick. The people in Arles were afraid of him. They called him the red-headed madman. Feeling that his mind was not well and feeling alone, Vincent made a brave decision. In May 1889, he chose to enter the St. Paul de Mossoul Asylum, a mental hospital in the nearby town of St. Remy. For the next year, the hospital was Vincent's home. He had 2 rooms with windows that had bars on them. One was his bedroom and the other was his studio. From his window, he could see the hospital garden, olive groves, and tall cypress trees. From this hospital where he had to stay, he created some of his most famous and powerful art. He painted the Starry Night, with its sky that seems to move in circles and its brilliant stars. The painting seems to be alive with the energy of the stars and sky. He painted the cypress trees reaching up to the sky like dark flames. The marks of his brush became even more full of feeling. The thick paint on his paintings shows the fight inside his mind and his deep connection to nature. His illness came and went. He had times when he could make a lot of art, followed by weeks of deep sadness when he could not work. During his time in the hospital, he received his first and only good review or written opinion from an art critic. For a short time, someone in the art world saw that his art was truly great. In May 1890, Vincent left the hospital. He moved to Auvers-sur-Oise, a village near Paris. This move allowed him to be closer to Theo and under the care of a doctor who was a friend to artists. In Auvers, Vincent began his last, very fast period of work. He painted with amazing speed, creating almost 1 painting a day for 70 days. He painted the village, paintings of the people he met, and the very large wheat fields under wide, open skies. Some of these last paintings, like Wheatfield with Crows, feel full of loneliness and worry. The sky is dark, and the path in the field leads nowhere. His amazing ability to make art continued, but a deep sadness was taking over. On July 27, 1890, Vincent walked into a wheat field. He shot himself in the chest with a pistol. He did not die right away. He managed to walk back to his room. Theo was called and hurried to his side. He held Vincent for 2 days. On July 29, Vincent van Gogh died in his brother's arms. He was only 37 years old. His last words were, the sadness will last forever. Theo was heartbroken by his brother's death. He died only 6 months later and was buried next to Vincent. The world's knowledge of Vincent's art was now in the hands of Theo's wife, Johanna. She worked very hard for the rest of her life to share Vincent's work. She organized exhibitions and published the letters between Vincent and Theo. Slowly, the world began to understand the great artist it had not paid attention to. Younger artists got new ideas from his brave use of color and the true feelings in his paintings. His life story became a powerful example of an artist that people did not understand, who gave everything for their art. Today, Vincent van Gogh is one of the most loved painters in history. His work, born from a life of deep pain and difficult times, brings beauty and hope to millions of people. He showed the world that art could be more than just a picture. It could be a way to see deep into a person's heart and mind. He took his sadness and turned it into something full of light and life.